All right, let's get him in. Tim Doyle, who had UCLA in this game. He said it was his best play of the night. Loved that. Look, let's start with the winners here. Johnny Juzang was tremendous. And, he fouled out. He didn't give his team much against Alabama. Thought it looked like the end of a career. And then they bailed him out. And now he said, now I got you. I thought he was tremendous, by far the best player. Did you like the plan against him, and why was Juzang so good tonight?
He really got into a rhythm, and he was the only rhythm in the offensive game for either team. Nobody else had a rhythm. I mean, if you're a Michigan fan, you got to look in the mirror and say, guys, we scored 3 points over the final 5:23 of the game. I mean, I don't know, 3 points? Juzang just had that rhythm going, and what Michigan should have done was run 2 guys at him. But give Mick Cronin credit. I called it before the game, organized isolation. It really is just that. He puts his guys in position, whether it's Tyler Campbell or whether it's Jaquez. He's like, aha, mismatch right there, go at it. And that's what he did with Juzang. What Juwan Howard should have countered with was running another guy towards him, because you could see he was the only guy with any other sort of rhythm. I don't know why UCLA didn't go to him when, Jaquez shoots a 3 in the corner. I didn't know. The execution down the stretch for both teams was awful. There's no other way to say it. Michigan had 3 chances. What did they do? They shot 3 threes. I mean, come on. Cody Riley fouls out of the game. You got to be attacking the basket there. You got to be going north and south. Wagner shot a shot that was like 15 foot short from 3. The execution down the stretch was poor. Nobody had Michigan coming out of this region, and now everybody is justified.
Yeah, everybody jumped off the bandwagon heading into the tournament. The proof was in the box score here, Tim. 49 points, a season-low output for Michigan. You mentioned it a little bit. Offense seemed hard on both ends of the court, but just completely stagnant when Michigan got into the half court. What did you see offensively out of Big Blue that caused such struggles tonight?
Yeah, I think they got tight. I mean, there's no other way to say it, right? They got really tight, and they had no fluidity on offense. And you got to credit Mick Cronin. When I played in the Big East and in the Big Ten, we used to look at the Pac-12 conference as soft. I'm sorry. We used to just look at them like they just weren't as physical. They just didn't have it in their DNA. Well, now you look at Mick Cronin, who couldn't be more Cincinnati than anybody. Grew up there, coached their team. I mean, you remember his teams in Cincinnati. One thing they weren't was soft. And when he took the job at UCLA, I mean, he got just absolutely murdered. Oh, this is a horrible fit. He brought his style out to Westwood pretty quickly, and they adjusted and adapted that identity. While I was watching that game, Joe and Eric, they reminded me, UCLA, of a Big Ten team. Just getting their fingernails dirty, getting in there. Riley's being physical. They out-physicaled a team that out-physicaled Florida State. You remember Michigan, Florida State. And I thought UCLA, they bullied Michigan in this game. I thought they were the more physical team. See, I thought they were the more physical team.
I thought it just came down to what you said with execution. I just think this came down to one thing. Michigan didn't put the ball in the hoop. They had good looks. They were there. It was on the doorstep. And they just didn't put the ball in the basket. How many times did it roll around? How many times did they hit the backboard, the rim on a layup, and it rolled out? They were 20 of 51 from the floor, didn't execute from 2. They were 3 from 11 from 3, didn't shoot the ball from 3. 6 from 11 for the free throw line, didn't get it from the foul line. They had looks. That game was there for the taking. If they make basic shots that they made game in, game out, they had the chance to blow this game open in the first half early. They let them hang around. Then they got behind. Then they came back. They had a chance to take the lead, and they didn't do it. To me, this feels more like Michigan lost it because they couldn't put the ball in the basket and didn't execute, more than UCLA was great or terrific on defense or any of that stuff. Not taking anything away from UCLA. They earned the victory. They go on. You understand what I'm saying? I think I'm being clear that Michigan just didn't execute, and sometimes that's what happens in sports. You really think that UCLA, they get a lot of credit for that lack of execution?
Yeah, I just think they made Michigan look bad, but I think you're right. I mean, this game was just here's the platter. I'm going to serve it up to you, Michigan. Just take advantage of it, right. Especially when Cody Riley fouled out. When he fouled out, I was like, okay, now the game plan is going to be let's pound the ball inside. And you could see Dickinson, he looked like a freshman there down the stretch. And, Wagner, the execution was really, really poor. Because once Riley fouled out, an old veteran team would have been like, perfect, now it's go time. Now we got to go north and south. We got to go high-low. I thought that the other big who came in from Michigan played extremely well. I thought maybe he should have been out there. I'm talking about Davis. I thought he was giving them more valuable minutes just because he was a senior. He understood the moment more, even though Hunter Dickinson, right, big upside and be a draft pick. But yeah, there's no way if you're a Michigan fan or if you bet Michigan on the money line, you put your head down tonight and you go, we deserve to win that game. There's no way you can say that. Whenever you score 3 points over the final 5 minutes of the game, I don't want to take away anything from UCLA because this is zombie mode. I hear this all the time in hockey playoffs. Like you just get into that Reggie Jackson, Anaheim Angels, naked gun, I must kill the queen, and you only have one goal, and that's winning a championship. And they just were able to just push on through and get the W. So an amazing effort by UCLA, and like I said, don't want to take anything away, but they got Gonzaga next. Oh boy!
Yeah, that great.
Gonzaga ain't gonna miss shots like that.
I don't think they are. Gonzaga shot at 50% from the field, sleptwalked them their way to 85 points here on Tuesday night. Just going broader picture here for a moment, TD. We're looking at the Texas side of the bracket and the West Coast side of the bracket. No Big 12, or excuse me, no ACC, no Big 10. State of the game right now. It has been a weird season that's produced, mind you, 2 1 seeds and 11 and a 2. But just taking a look at how it remains and what we're looking forward to here for Final Four weekend. This brings to mind what? I mean, Baylor, Houston, UCLA, Gonzaga. Yeah, the undefeated team has to go through the traditional power. Houston gets back to a place they haven't been in forever. This Final Four, the snapshot of it, it says what to you?
Well, that Gonzaga is going to have a cakewalk to the championship. You hate to just rain on UCLA's parade. Like they just won the biggest game in Mick Cronin's career, but it's like, oh boy, they are in the deep end and they do not have swimmies on, boys and girls. They are going to be in big trouble against Gonzaga. And it's interesting enough because I think the Baylor-Houston game is going to be a dogfight. There isn't a more physical team in college basketball than Houston, and I think they can really make Baylor feel uncomfortable. I would not be surprised if the Cougars win that game. Saying that, as a basketball fan, we knew pretty early this season that there were two teams that were distinctly more talented, more gifted, older, more experienced. So, yeah, I think there would have been a little more glamour in having a Michigan as a 1 going up against Gonzaga. But after you watched Michigan play, let's be honest, they would have had no chance against Gonzaga.
Right,
so
that's sort of where I've come down. Like Michigan to me, if you put your head in the pillow tonight, you're not going to sleep. This was there for the taking. All you had to do was make basic shots and you win this game, and you couldn't do it. Less than 40% from the floor, less than 30% from 3, less than 6 from 11 from the line. It was time after time. It was there, and they just didn't execute. And that's why UCLA wins the game. Look, I like this Final Four. There's something for everybody. You got the undefeated team. You got the Cinderella story 11 seed. You got 2 stories of redemption. I mean, look what the Baylor program was and what they've been through. And Kelvin Sampson, who was exiled from college basketball, and now he's back in the Final Four. There's a lot of good angles and a lot of good storylines. It should be a lot of fun.
And it will be. Tim Doyle, we thank you.
Want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis. No yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.